Hello, my name is Ralph Demmler. Thanks for the opportunity to introduce myself and show you some of the multi-channel marketing campaigns I've managed. I'm going to show you the parts and pieces of these campaigns, along with the automation platforms and vendor partners that were involved to enable these capabilities. I'll also show you some of the resources that were put in place in partnership with sales, all in the name of acquiring new customers and growing those relationships. I think the best way to look at a multi-channel marketing campaign is from the perspective of the customer and the journey that they travel on, from being made aware as a qualified suspect to being incentivized to make that first inquiry. And with contact information and permission, cultivating that prospective customer over time till that first most important milestone of a sale is reached. Of course, that begins a whole other process of ongoing communication and service with that customer. In this arc of campaigns, I've been involved in the every aspect of the process, from design, execution, managing, and measuring these campaigns. And with the benefit of hindsight and the insights of data that was collected, learn how they might be expanded in their reach and refined in terms of the customer experience as well as campaign performance. One example of my multi-channel experience was my role as manager of e-marketing and direct marketing at Alcoa. My objective was to modernize an expansive portfolio of collateral with a shift towards digital channels and an overhaul of the underlying database marketing infrastructure. As a web publisher, I had responsibility for the business unit's representation on the corporate site as well as 2 consumer branded sites. Another sizable project was the consolidation of 2 websites for the trade into a single, more robust site called Pro Tools. In addition to its instructions for design and installation of product, I added a section to suggest different combinations of marketing collateral to help different types of contractors grow their business. I developed an app called Colorscapes, which enabled homeowners to see the variations of our products on the outside of their home and encourage them to do more than order beige siding, but rather specify Alcoa Home Exterior's sandstone Dutch lap. I also combined 2 secure e-business sites, creating ease of use with a new interface for the portal, and also campaigned for its adoption internally and externally under the tagline, "It's just e-business." In collaboration with our IT teams, I also developed a lead management system to traffic inquiries from our many different acquisition channels. Some of the impact of my work was to increase visits to our consumer and trade sites by 15% year over year. The volume of transactions on our business site grew steadily to be 10 times that of the prior year. The lead follow-up time was cut in half and was more certain with a closed-loop reporting system. And I netted $100,000 savings by consolidating our inquiry management and fulfillment operations with our call center operations. As the e-business marketing manager at Mars Drinks Group, my challenge was to drive traffic to their commerce site. Our other objective was to encourage wider selection of products and incentivize larger orders from those visitors. With a wide array of drink options and buttons to press on the drink system, there was a potential for confusion. Consumer engagement was key to countering this and creating lifetime value from the customer. To acquire new customers, I directed our keyword strategy and managed our search engine marketing partner to shepherd new users to our website. I also published a bi-weekly email series, The Recipe Connection, which encouraged different drink use and extended special offers. Likewise, we used direct mail and tracked results from these channels through a source code in the cart. For those cart visitors, I developed a shopping cart itemizer, which enhanced the user experience and measured their progress towards discounts on shipping, as well as an offer to sample new and different drink options. The overall impact was to reduce paid search spend by 55%. My work also improved click-through and conversion rates by 300%. The biweekly email generated 200 orders on average per send, which amounted to a 3-to-1 return on investment. As we increased the average dollar amount per cart, we reduced the burden on our customer service call center. As the manager of CRM strategy and programs at Beacon, I designed, executed, measured, and managed programs that encourage symptom sufferers to discuss their condition with their doctor and to adhere to their treatment regimen if prescribed. To facilitate the customer journey, our team produced a series of unbranded and branded sites for patients and professionals, which along with broadcast TV, print, call center, search, and display advertising formed a net of acquisition channels. One of my objectives was to ensure that the call to action, along with the guidelines for taking advantage of an offer, were easily understood. Key interactions initiated a series of communications to guide the customer to the next milestone in their journey. There are electronic communications in the form of downloadable resources, newsletters, and a suite of automatically triggered emails for which I configured the business rules. For example, a reminder email to a patient who had fallen behind on their recommended medication schedule. The mailed fulfillments included much more than letters. There were personal organizers, prepaid Visa cards, checks in return for receipt redemption, gift cards, and product samples. Our success can be attributed largely to the partnership I managed with our database management and fulfillment house. Perhaps the most profound interaction with the brand was a clinical and customer service call center which I managed. The impact of our work was to guide media spend by tracking response rate among the multiple inquiry channels. We managed to increase program uptake fivefold with the introduction of a new loyalty card that offered instant rebates at the point of purchase. The segmentation strategy implemented allowed us to target our marketing directly to symptom sufferers and patients as they traveled through their journey. And overall, the impact of increased persistency and adherence yielded millions in incremental revenue to the brand. As the senior manager of marketing programs at Hart Hanks, my objective was to partner with the subject matter experts and vertical sales teams to market our omni-channel marketing expertise. To get the attention of potential healthcare customers, we promoted thought leadership in the form of white papers, case studies, and webinars that address the challenges and opportunities of an aging U.S. population and of healthcare reform. With our new messaging strategy, communications calendar, branding template, and list purchases in hand, I spearheaded the use of a new marketing automation platform, Eloqua, to rapidly deploy communication campaigns. This was supplemented by social tactics, such as LinkedIn ads. We were able to do a thorough job of marketing our events, including collecting qualifying comments from conversations at our trade show booth or hospitality events, which allowed for a seamless transition of that conversation or correspondence with our demand gen reps. The impact of the work was, again, campaigns being rapidly deployed in days and weeks instead of months. With the marketing of events before, during, and after, we were able to increase the yield of qualified leads in addition to the one deal that more than paid for our participation. And with response tracking of our email campaigns, we were able to identify prospects who are in the funnel to connect with our demand generation or field sales representatives. I also earned my pay with responsibility for the countless moving parts of a CRM infrastructure and the database that deliver the sort of customer journey shown in the previous slides, such as business rules that specify the logic and details for fulfillments and help related teams sing from the same sheet of music. I define processes such as transition plans from discontinued to new programs to ensure we retain current participants and minimize expensive customer service interventions. I configure user screens to provide ease of use and the efficient collection of customer information. I manage vendor partner operations, including regular meetings that apprise team members of current project status and help plan for future initiatives. I define the data structure and standardized terms that are the stuff of enterprise CRM and sales automation implementations. There are segmentation strategies, which are key to defining milestones on the customer journey, scoring leads, and targeting campaigns. I develop scripting and the logic for compliant customer service interactions and automated response systems. They're not the shiny objects, but they're critical to success. If the question is, what area of multi-channel marketing do I provide measurement and analysis? The answer is yes. But more than create cool charts and dashboards, I work to measure progress against program milestones, to guide investment in the mix of acquisition channels and prospect development campaigns. My analysis can be leveraged to identify high potential segments in the database, as well as key prospects. It can also be applied to forecast revenue and costs, and also, when considering changes to current programs, model their financial impact. In general, my analysis is executive friendly and injects science into the decision-making process. Thank you for your time and for giving thought to your team's need for a resource to design, execute, manage, and measure programs, and continually learn how to extend their reach and refine their performance. I invite you to reach out to me to any of the channels listed below. Thank you.